TUV support is up. Indeed, the last
1 point.
Talk poll, no, 4 points. The last Lucid Talk poll put TUV on 5. They're now putting us on 9. Of course, they've massaged down the pre-election poll to put us on 5. And, of course, the election showed that, in fact, we were scoring at 8.
Anything.
Well, that's your opinion. The election scored us at 8. We're now on 9. But according to Lucid Talk, at the time of the election, we should only have been on 5.
But look where Sinn Féin is with this Lucid Talk poll. Look at this one poll, and polls suggest things. You have to look at them over trends and over many years and all of that comes together. But Sinn Féin, 30%, by far the biggest party in Northern Ireland, Jim.
Which I think is up just 1 point, if I recall correctly, on their last poll. So it's not statistically
correct,
significant.
but you've got Sinn Féin at 30% and the DUP at 18%.
Well, the DUP is in decline because the DUP lied to the electorate. The first part of this discussion was an underscoring of that they told us the RDC border was gone, and then they're surprised that the electorate, when they discovered that they'd been lied to, turned on the DUP. Of course they did, and so they should. Because the fundamental of politics is you need to be honest with people. And if you're not honest with people, then you can't expect their support.
Well, Gavin Robertson described it as it having been oversold.
Oversold is a nice way of saying we lied to you.
One of the interesting things within this poll, and Suzanne Breen's writing about this in the Belfast Telegraph, Unionists are 6 times more likely than Nationalists to say that our current immigration rate is too high. 6 times more likely.
Well, I don't think the differential really matters. The question is it too high?
It does. It's really interesting. Why would that be?
It may be interesting, but it patently is too high. You know, we have our health service under immense pressure, contributed to in part by over-immigration. We have our education in sectors under pressure, and we don't have money for all of that. So immigration, which is uncontrolled, and we saw that over the summer again with the boats and all of that, is something which is a contributor to that.
But if it is about housing and access to the NHS, Jim, that applies to people in nationalist communities as well, which is why the question as to why it would be more than 6 times as many unionists as nationalists who say the current level of immigration is too high. What do you put that down to?
Another interesting dimension of that is that it would seem that nationalists in the Republic think that it's too high. There seems to be evidence that in the Republic, the general consensus is it's too high. I can't explain why nationalists take a different view in Northern Ireland, but if they do, they do. But I'm certainly very clear that from my perspective, the immigration levels are too high.
Net immigration for 2022 showed 2,200 people, Jim, for net immigration into Northern Ireland. Are you talking about the whole of the UK?
Well, I'm talking about the whole of the UK. I'm a UK unionist, and the net migration into the UK has been far too high. And
what about Northern Ireland?
Well, Northern Ireland equally as part of the United Kingdom, and indeed under the protocol. We had a High Court case which was set to make us a dumping ground in terms of migration because we were unable, if the Rwanda scheme had proceeded, to implement that here because...
But you're not blaming immigration on the waiting lists in Northern Ireland, are you? You're not doing that.
Sorry?
You're not blaming waiting lists on immigration into Northern Ireland, Jim, are you? It's not what you're doing.
I'm not specifically doing that, but obviously if there are more people to be catered for, wherever they come from, then the health service is going to creak even more. And the reality of migration is that it creates more people to cater for.
And when you say more people to cater for, how many people are actually working in the NHS who have come here?
Yes, there is a dimension to that our health service is reliant on a good number of people who come in, and that's why I believe in a migration policy which is merit-based, where you have a need, where you cannot meet that need locally, then on a point system you should bring in the expertise that you need. That involves you bringing people into the health service, then do it. But this open door policy of migration is the one which is causing the problems.
editor of Sluggo 2 and McFeelty with us today as well.